Hi, I'm Matt from hockeyreviews.ca, and this is what's in the bag for Baselayers. So this one is specifically for my goalie Baselayers because there's a bunch of them, and then you see some over there that will be for player Baselayer. So I'm just going to go over the goalie stuff and why I have so many, and just like I play a lot, and that way I don't have to wash them after every time, and I can kind of rotate stuff through. The one thing I found is I have a 10-pound brown chest protector that's very, very hot. So in the summer, and in hot rinks, you kind of need specific, very, very either moisture wickening or stuff that keeps you cool when you play, or else I kind of overheat. Yes, I could get a cheaper chest protector or one that's much more lightweight, but the brown is excellent for me, and I'm really happy with it. So I've just been testing out different base layers to see how they work throughout the last few years. So I'm just going to talk about them because I had some people ask what my favorite one is, and especially at hockey stores. And I don't really think hockey gear is the best actually for it. So I'll kind of jump in right here. I'm very lucky to have a Nike and Adidas outlet pretty close to my house. And so I tend to go there quite often just to see what they have. And the Nike outlet has stuff called sample sales. So it's like really high, or their higher end clothing for about 20, 30 bucks. And so some of that up here is from that sample sale. And it's some of the best stuff I've ever used. So I'll jump in that right now. So one of basically for pants, my main goal for pants for goalie is so they have kind of not enough protection, but so they're smooth enough where knee guards, they kind of act as a barrier between knee guards so the straps don't get stuck in them, and also for around the groin area and right here, tight enough so when you pull your cup up, it really holds everything snug and in place, and there's no movement. The worst feeling is when you're a goalie, you make a desperation diving save, and you land right on your jock, and it kind of crushes one of your testicles, and it hurts really, really bad. So I found that with certain base layers, if you tighten it, you can tighten it enough, and then you tighten your jock enough, it always holds everything in place. It doesn't shift around. So base layers like this, which are very stretchy, I find very good for that. So this is a Nike Pro. I find Nike Pro stuff to be extremely breathable, extremely lightweight. They're really good for moisture wickening. You can feel yourself sweating in them, and you can feel the material to be wet, but it's not uncomfortable. With the Nike Pro stuff, I'm okay with wearing the pants more than one game at a time. So if I play back to back, which I kind of often do, these ones are like the Nike Pro and some of the Adidas ones are okay with that because my pants don't feel soaking wet and drenched. They still feel okay, and they still do a decent job keeping me cool. So there's a Nike Pro pants and a Nike Pro shirt. So both of these were samples. So there's the back, the Nike Pro on the top. Both of these are extremely lightweight, extremely they breathe very, very well. Nike's dry fit stuff, their Nike Pro, their Nike Combats, I find very good. You just have to make sure which ones there are because there are warm ones, and I don't suggest wearing a warm one because it will heat you up. But these do a great shirts. I generally won't wear for a back to back because it will be so wet, and then if I take off my chest to walk to a different rink or even just for a bit, you don't want to put a wet undershirt on with a wet chest protector. So I tend to bring more than one shirt and switch those out. With that said, this one is one of the better ones for kind of keeping myself cool. It does sit very tight, so it's not one of the looser fitting ones. It's a very tight fitting shirt, just like the pants here. But with that, it does a really good job of, again, keeping me cool and for playing well. So we'll get these out of the way. So these are more Nike Pros, and again, these were also a sample. These ones are identical to these ones, but a different color. So I guess when talking about them, they're about the same. These ones aren't full length. They're only 3/4. I find the 3/4 ones are decent too, just because it does let you breathe a little bit more. I do wear long socks anyway, so there's a bit of overlap, but with a 3/4, it kind of stops that. This one is great because of how thick the top piece is up here too, and it has this stitching right here. Sometimes with my jock and my garter belt, it would pull down certain base layer pants if they weren't super tight. I had that issue with some of my Under Armour ones over there for the player, but for these ones, for the Nike Pro ones, are really good in that regards, and that they don't slide down at all. This one is a bit tighter for compression. It doesn't stretch quite as much as the last one, so it's a bit better if you have a growing issue. This is just a Nike running shirt, so it's called zonal cooling. This one does a pretty good job of keeping you cool. You can kind of see the patterns in it, and the pattern, like you can also kind of see how it's like there's gaps in the material, so it's very breathable in that regard. The only issue with this one is it's a bit long because it is made to put your thumbs through here for running. I don't put my thumbs through there for goalie gloves because that would just kind of get in the way, but it is very cool and it's very comfortable to wear as well. It's not one of my best. I'd say the last one is one of the better ones, but this one's pretty good in that regards. So this is from Adidas now. So we have Adidas Tech Fit. These are super, super tight wearing. They're very lightweight. They have a really nice breathable material throughout the crotch right there. And I believe it's on the inside too. Really nice thick elastic band as well, where this one doesn't slide down either. These are super thin. These are probably the best in terms of pants I have for keeping everything in place because they're so tight, but they're so thin and kind of stretchy that they're really, really comfortable and they do a really good job of breathing. These are really good for the summer, along with this shirt, which I'll get to in a second. This one rink I play on is where the Niagara Ice Dogs play, and even in the winter, it can be very, very warm in there, so I found I was overheating a lot. This set I wear is probably one of the best for overheating issues. I wear this one a lot too with that team, but because the rink is so hot, because it's like a not professional, but it's an OHL rink where they keep it really warm for the fans, this stuff really, really, really helps. So here's the shirt, and it's a turtleneck, which some people don't like. I don't mind it because I have a built-in neck guard on my chest protector, and it's a pretty scratchy material. So this turtleneck kind of helps with that to make it a little bit more comfortable. This is called a Climate Chill shirt. So it is a Tech Fit shirt, which you can see when I turn it around. The back is Tech Fit. This shirt is by far the best shirt I have for anything for breathability. So the sides right here are like a nice mesh, and it stretches with you. This is ridiculously tight fitting though. I would never put this on me and on camera because I look like the Michelin Man, but regardless, this is the best shirt for cooling. It's unbelievable. The back, you can see it's perforated. Hopefully that kind of shows up. You can see right through it, and it like when you skate around the ice, like if I'm in between whistles just skating off from the net, you can feel the air running through the shirt. It's pretty amazing because it really does cool you down. It does an amazing job cooling you down. I have to give Adidas huge props for this shirt specifically for Climate Chill because it does such a good job of it. Though my one issue with Adidas is I find that they're harder to get good deals on. Adidas generally tiers their stuff, so they have something called Alpha Skin, but there's 3 tiers. This is like the top layer or the top level of what that Alpha Skin is. Normally it's like $100 and something. I think I only paid like 20 something for us, but it's really rare to get something like this for that price. So they do a really good job for the tech, but it's really expensive. So I always shop around and got a decent deal. But regardless, this Tech Fit Adidas shirt is by far the best breathing shirt I've ever worn. So I'm a huge fan of it. So these are probably my oldest pants and one of my favorite shirts too. So this one is a bit looser fitting, as you can kind of see. It's just a Nike Dry Fit running shirt, but it does do a good job of keeping me cool. And again, like I said, that one rink, there's certain shirts I kind of prefer. This one is one of them. It does definitely feel wet afterwards, but it's comfortable. It's not a big issue. It's nowhere near as nice as the Adidas in terms of like keeping you cool, but it's kind of more comfortable because it does fit a little bit looser, but you can definitely feel it more wet. So I have these Under Armour pants. I don't know if these were made for hockey or not, but regardless, they don't have any grips anywhere, but they do have a really nice mesh on the crotch and the groin area, so it helps kind of put everything in place with my jock. These are full length, and the reason I like these, and one of the reasons why I use these for a very long time until I got new knee guards, is because these were a bit thicker, so material's a bit thicker, and it was much more comforting on the knees going down on, like, for my knee guards. I wore these quite a while ago, and my knees would get beat up kind of a bit just because the knee guards weren't that good. Once I got better ones, it was kind of okay once I went to the Pascal. But these were very useful before the Pascal ones because this would give you a little bit more padding. These are a bit thicker, so they definitely don't breathe as well as some of my Nike and Adidas ones, but they do a pretty good job, and they are one of my favorites. They're kind of like the all-around. They keep you a bit warm too in the winter if you need it, but at the same time, they're super comfortable, but they're not quite as cooling as the Adidas and Nike stuff is. So next we have the Nike Pro pants, so I won't go into those. And then we have this Climate Chill Adidas shirt. So this, mind the fluff, this is just a very, very, very lightweight Adidas like running shirt. It's not as good as the Tech Fit in terms of breathability and keeping you cool, and it's not tight fitting compared to the Tech Fit. It's quite a bit looser than that, but it is, because it's so light, it keeps you really cool. But it's not quite as comfortable. At the end of it, like after end of skating with it, I can feel that it's wet and I want to kind of get it off. Where the Tech Fit you do as well, but the Tech Fit keeps you so much cooler compared to this that it's kind of a decent trade-off. But regardless, this is another decent Adidas one. I think I paid like $15 for this shirt, so it was totally worth it for that. So now we get to, so this is a Old Navy active base layer, and so this one, I kind of experimented for a bit with Old Navy clothes because they were on sale. These were, I think, about $11, and I had these for a very long time as well, basically from the start. I like them because, again, they have that kind of stretch material around the crotch and the groin. With that said, these ones I really had to hike up tight, and originally they were too tight to actually wear with the jock, and it wouldn't keep everything in place. Eventually they kind of broke in a bit, and they're much better now. For the price, these are really good because they were really cheap, but these do not do a good job for cooling you down compared to the Adidas and Nike stuff. These ones keep you much warmer, but the up here is pretty thick, so that's actually pretty decent. But I had issues with these falling down when I wore them for player, not for goalie. But they're like a budget one, but again, they don't keep you really cool like the Nike and Adidas ones do. But again, budget. So I also tried out their tops, a Go Dry top, and again, they just can't compare with the Adidas and Nike stuff. Like, it wouldn't keep you that cool, and just like it wasn't a great feeling top. It smelled pretty quickly after wearing too, where Nike and Adidas ones, I find the way I wash them, they do a pretty good job. But with this, like, these pants are okay, but they're not really that good. Here's another Adidas Tech Fit shirt. So this one is not as good as the black one. It does have the nice vents on the side. It is, again, very tight fitting. Like, this is an XL, but it looks really tiny. It does stretch all over you, but it's very tight on your body. There is no breathing in the back like the other one, how it was meshed and you could kind of see your hands through it. This does a decent job, but it's nowhere near as good as the black one. So it's it's kind of an okay thing. This one is a lot of compression, but it's fit so tight. But it does a good job, but doesn't do a great job. I combine it because it's almost matches, and it kind of balances out the lack of coolness on these ones. So next we go to another Nike Pro. This one's fairly similar to the other 3/4 ones. It's just super soft on the inside compared to those, and has a bit thicker knees. This one isn't one of my favorites, but it's an okay one. Again, I prefer the other ones a bit more. So it's kind of, I always rotate them through anyways, but if I have to choose, this one probably won't be up there, but it does keep you a bit warmer. So if you need some warmth in the winter, like if I was to play like a shinny game, this might be something I'd wear. Or sorry, outdoor shinny game. This might be something I'd wear just to keep me a bit warm. So here's an Adidas running, I think it's called Climate Chill Running. So this one does a pretty good job of keeping you cool. I'm actually surprised at how good of a job it does because it doesn't really look like much, but it does a pretty good job with that. The one thing is the arms are kind of super long because of this, so it kind of gets in the way, and it's not very long in terms of the actual body length. So I like to tuck everything in, so my shirts are always tucked into underneath my jock strap and my garter belt, and then over top of my base layer. This one's kind of harder to do because it's not quite as long, but it is very loose fitting. So we'll move on to that. So again, more Old Navy pants. I won't really talk about these because I talked about the other ones. And here's a Bauer 37.5 shirt. So this is very loose fitting, and from what I've heard, you have to wear these really tight in order to get the benefits of the 37.5. This shirt's one of my heaviest and one of the least breathable. It was super cheap. I found it out at Winners for very cheap. Again, I want to try the 37.5 material out, and it's comfortable to wear, but it's by no means, like, it doesn't dry off when I'm playing like the 37.5 is supposed to, but it's okay. It's kind of, again, it's one of the lower tier of the stuff I use, but with that said, it's not awful. Again, people said you have to wear it really tight. This isn't Bauer has 3 tiers of base layers, and this is the bottom tier, so I guess if you go to the top tiers you get it a little bit better, but it's just kind of their training fit ones anyways. Okay, so that's it for my actual goalie stuff. Now, a few other things I want to mention. So one of the things I'll be testing out is the Oniric Genesis base layer. I haven't worn it yet because I've only played one game since I got it, and it was a playoff game, so I wanted to use what I was comfortable with. But I'll be testing this out for player and goalie in the future. It does have the nice cut resistant at the bottom. Check out my unboxing video for that if you're interested. So another thing I tried to do is I bought a pair of pants, and I bought a couple shirts too off like Banggood and those Chinese sites, because I had a couple shirts that are like, one's Puma, I have a Nike one, Adidas one, and they're called seamless. So it's now this like knit material where the sides don't have seams. The pants do have seams, but the shirts are all seamless on the sides, and the only seams are right by the shoulders. And they're amazing for like working out with, or just wearing them as undershirts. All the Puma World Cup jerseys are now based on that material, and actually all the Puma, like Arsenal's soccer jerseys, are kind of that material. For Puma, it's called Evo Knit. Adidas, it's Prime Knit, and Nike, it's not Fly Knit for shirts, it's something else. So anyways, I tried to buy pants and shirts from China to see if I could replicate those. Like Gymshark has a whole line of stuff like this, but it was too expensive for what I wanted. So I bought these, and they were like $12, but honestly they were pretty awful. They don't fit right at all. When you actually put these on, this ends up coming to above my belly button. It's really high-waisted. It doesn't breathe well either. It keeps you really warm. They get really wet really fast. It'd be good for like an under layer if like you're biking in the winter or in the fall, but it's awful for hockey stuff, so I definitely don't recommend these. I tried it just to see how it was, and it really wasn't worth the trying. So finally, last but not least, socks. So a lot of people wear very, very thin socks for their for hockey skates, and when I tried to tell people what skates to get, I always mention wear thin socks. For me, for goalie, I always had bigger skates than I should have worn. Now I have true skates that are custom fit to my foot, so they custom fit to my foot. With that said, the socks I wore with my old goalie skates were these cut resistant Warrior socks. When I moved to True, they fit perfectly in there. I tried to go a smaller one, but it just didn't fit as well as these ones do. They keep my foot snug and comfortable. I'm a huge fan of these Warrior cut resistant socks. The new ones are red on the top and not this Dynasty. I can't think they call them something else now, but I'm a huge fan of those. Been using them for about 5 years now, and they're kind of, the elastic at the top is a bit shot. So I tried to grab another pair as well, because I have all this base layer but only one pair of socks. So I found these Verbero Mercury socks, and they're having a 50% off sale a few weeks ago, and so I grabbed a couple pair of these. So these are cut resistant up here, and then are really, really soft. It is thick, but it's a really, really soft bottom part. So I've worn these last game for the first time. They're unbelievable. They're super, super comfortable. So I'm really happy I grabbed those. Again, I always try to wear cut resistant socks just in case, and I can get thicker bottoms and the cut resistant at the top. I don't find this material ever to be uncomfortable, so I don't have an issue with that. But I'm a huge fan of these Verbero ones, and I'm a huge fan of the Warrior ones. And so that's about it. So that's it for what's in the bag goalie base layer edition. Again, Tech Fit stuff is really good. Nike Pro is really good. Climate Chill is really good. So make sure. So anyways, if you have any questions, let me know. If you have any suggestions of what to try out, let me know. I'm always kind of looking for more things to try. So I'll see what comes down the line. So hopefully this is kind of informative and looks kind of interesting. Again, let me know if you have any questions. Thank you very much for watching. I hate to say this, but check out in the description. Subscribe to me on YouTube, follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Just helps me get stuff like these to review, to wear, and to talk about. And that's it. Take it easy.